Hey everybody, Charles Calhoun, aka the ShadeTree Pro, here at the beautiful Grand Vista Marriott in Orlando, Florida, where I own and operate my teaching business under the ShadeTree. Now, I want you all to definitely check in the description box about what I'm getting ready to explain to you. Now, I was talking to one of my teaching friends out here about this idea, and I've posted it on my Facebook and different little forums. But this is an ideal that I have for the PGA Tour and the FedEx Cup, and it just reminds me of when, back in the day when I played sports and played in tournaments and how these tournaments works out. Well, I think that a lot of people want to get some of that excitement, that Tiger excitement, or just some excitement in golf in general. I know we got a lot going on in golf with the live and this and that or whatever, but my thing is like I'm not concerned about the problem. I'm more focused on the solution. As the saying goes, in the sense that rich people and poor people, a lot of us, we have the same problems. It's only how we look towards those solutions. Rich people seem to look more towards the solutions, or successful people seem to look towards the solutions. So here's my proposal for the PGA Tour and the FedEx Cup. And if anybody's out there that want to get this to the PGA Tour or the FedEx Cup, here's how it goes. Now, I like the fact that they have the three tournaments. They got, the first one of the top 70. I like it when it was 100 or whatever, but I like you get that top 70, and then you get, the top 50 guys, and then all of a sudden, the 30 in the Tour Championship. Now, this is what I propose, because this, I feel, brings energy back, is that you have a seasonal champion, and then you have a playoff champion. So what the seasonal champion is throughout the year, you get your FedEx Cup points, all that, you play for that, you're trying to get in that top 10. And the guy who finishes first in the top 10 at the top, that guy right there becomes your seasonal champion at the end of the season. Now, what that also do is that as you get ready to go into the playoff, because you're rewarding those guys who played into the top 10, because we look at all the top 10s throughout sports, and top 10 is a good thing. That we play, those top 10 people are exempt into the Tour Championship. So now when we go into the first playoff, what we're doing, we're taking those, you take 16 non-exempt players plus the 10 exempt players, which finish in the season the top 10, and those other 60 below that finished in that top 70. Now you go into the first tournament. Now, although you have 70 players, like I said, 60 plus the 10, now when you go in that tournament, those non-exempt players are playing for 40 spots. They're playing for 40 spots. Number 11, now what that does, now what does that do? Because all points are erased, no points during the season is done. This is playoff time. So from number 11 all the way down to number 70, they got just as good a chance to make it in the tournament to the next round, just like anybody else, or to get to the Tour Championship, especially if they're playing really, really good golf. Because some guy might be at number 70 throughout the year, at the end of the season, start playing really good golf to get into the 70, and then all of a sudden, it's only 2 or 3 people the way it is now that may even be able to get to the next round with the 50. So what we do, start the points all over. Nobody's got points. The top 10 throughout the 2 events, they don't receive any points. They're already exempt into the tournament. This is a battle between, like I said, from number 11 all the way down to 70 in the first tournament. Now, those 40 that move on to the next event, after the battle to see what the points is, however it is, that 40 after the first round, the first tournament, the 40 that makes it moves on to the second to join the 10 that's already exempt. So if 40 non-exempt join the 10, which will make the 50 in the second event. Now, as this goes on, what happens is that those 40 exempt players are only playing, 40 non-exempt are playing for 20 spots. So those 20 spots to join the 10 exempt players. And, and so it's into the Tour Championship. So what that does is it gives a lot of energy, because it's just like Monday qualifiers, Q school, all throughout every, each event, first one, second one, each one of them, points start over. Ain't no carryovers, nothing, because that means that the number 11 guy and the number 50 guy, just the same as the number 11 guy and number 70 guy, they all got the same opportunity to move on. They just got to play good golf. And when you're playing tournament golf, you got to play good golf. When it gets into the tournament, it gets into the championships, then, you got to know how to eliminate people. No just skating through, because you had the points all during the season. Well, the season's over. You got to focus on the playoff. Just like when we play football, it doesn't matter if New England lost a year to the Giants when they were, 17-0 or something of that nature. All that other stuff didn't matter. They lost the Super Bowl. And it's the same energy you have to build here. Now, here's another little caveat to that as well. For the exempt players. The exempt players, like in, say, in football, that you get one bye week or you get a bye week. Well, the exempt player is only allowed to miss one of the two tournaments. That's a reward to them for saving energy or whatever it is for being in the top 10. And so if they happen to miss two tournaments, then they get eliminated. And then I talk about in there, what you do just in case of that. But the beauty of it is now throughout the season, you got a battle here for, you could see number 12 and 13, 11, 12, and 13 battling to get to that number 10 spot. That's a good one. You could see 2 and 3 battling to be number 1, to be the seasonal champion, or whatever you give to the seasonal champion. Then also you can see down here at number 70 that's battling back and forth to be one of the 40. And then also when you get to the second tournament, you can see basically that same thing, fighting, for those spots. I think it just brings a lot of dynamic and a lot of energy. And then once you get to the Tour Championship, it's just 30 guys that's going at it. And more than likely, when you get to that tournament of 30 players, you're getting probably the people who's playing the best golf. That's going to bring you a lot more excitement to what golf needs right now, because we all can agree that golf is kind of boring because we're focused too much on the problems instead of doing the things that's necessary for the solution. The only way you make golf exciting is people have got to get out there and play. And if they're the best players in the world, then they need to be pressure be put on them. No participation trophies, no handouts. When you get into playoff time, you got to golf your golf ball and you got to move on. Because if we're going to make that argument that the guy at number 150 in the world is maybe just a half a shot, below the guy that's number 10 in the world in a sense, then let's put that energy together. Let's see how it plays out in a real playoff form. Each and every tournament, from the first playoff tournament to the last playoff tournament, is that the points always start over. Just like in football, no matter if you had scored 70 points in the first game and then you go to the next game and you don't score any, you don't get to take that 70 points over to the next game. Well, that same energy needs to be a part of the PGA Tour playoff to make it a real FedEx Cup playoff so we can get some energy back. And here's the other thing. When you're working for that seasonal champion, the beauty of it is, like I said, you got people fighting for the top. Those guys who might be up there. You got the guys that's fighting in itself or whatever for that number 11 spot. You got the guys fighting to get into the top 70. I mean, it just brings so much energy in a sense. And just imagine the guy who misses a putt that could get him in the top 10, and now he's got to go and play in the tournament. He had a great year, but now he's got to go play in the playoffs. He's got to go golf his golf ball because he has no exemption. And if he don't make it in the top 40, no matter how close he came to getting in the top 10, his season is over. And that's what real playoffs is about. So look in the description box as I write this all down and explain this, more in detail. Hey, look, it's just a rough draft of what I'm thinking about, but hey, I think it's a good idea, and if nothing else, it at least deserves an opportunity for whether it's the FedEx Cup, whether it's the PGA of America, whether it's the Tour Championship, just to take a look at it and just, give something to it. Because like I said, with all the stuff that's happening in golf and happening in the world now, we need some energy. Golf needs some energy. Golf needs to get people back to understand about how to be gentlemen, how to play the game as it's supposed to be. And if we're supposed to be about this in golf, then it's time to set examples. Golf's supposed to be the example, because everybody, when they leave other sports, they play golf in a sense because it's supposed to be a gentleman game, and for some reason we're losing the mindset of gentlemen. And I think competition, when it's done properly, brings you back to that mindset of gentlemen. One thing that Tiger did for everybody out there, he made that tour mindset being competitors. No need of losing that, people. Whether Tiger's playing or not, that's irrelevant. The point is, the energy is there, we just got to find a way to make sure we bring it back. And I think my proposal that I'm writing here for the PGA Tour and the FedEx Cup, hey, it's my opinion. You agree with it or not, it is what it is, but this is just how I feel. Charles Calhoun, aka the ShadeTree Pro. Check that description box. Always good golfing.